We all know that you are the godfather of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in the space for what, 40 years?
That's correct.
But before your MVP, before your MBA, before all that, who was young Sandy Osei-Agyeman?
You really want to know about my...
Yes.
Okay. If I might take you back from the beginning, I went to school at Osei-Agyeman, and at an early age, I found out I was a great sprinter. So I started competing for Ghana national athletic team at age 18. I was able to get a scholarship to go to the US on athletic scholarship. So back in 1977, my partner and I formed a company we called AFAM concept, African American. So I was the African, he was the American. So the concept was to bring the best of both Africa and America for the mutual benefit of our people. So we started the business by coming to Africa just to do our fact finding. And then when we went back to Chicago, we decided to make 3 products. One of them was the moisturizer in the early days. So we had 2 brands, Salam, and we created Elente. But later on, we dropped Salam, we came out with Vital.
You've had a chance to have meetings and interacted with the 24-hour secretariats.
Yes.
Do you think there's anything to go by? Do you think it's going to support businesses? Especially those of us in the beauty and wellness industry.
It will support business if they're given the flexibility, if they're given the resources, and if they don't channel all the resources to the bank where everything has to go through the banks.
Okay, so every industry has challenges. Our space, we also have challenges. What is that one key challenge the industry has that you think has to be addressed seriously? Like we have to be intentional about addressing it. Mr. Sandy Osei-Agyeman.
Yes, madam.
Good to see you and good to have you.
Thank you.
You know, you've been with us for some time now. The Ghana Beauty Awards, which you know, over the years has been celebrating excellence in the beauty and wellness industry. We've been championing healthy competition. We've been championing excellence cuts across how we do our businesses, how practitioners offer their services. And this year, we are 10 years.
Fantastic.
Hooray! We are super excited about it. But, you know, over the years, we've awarded over 100 people, 100 entrepreneurs. And what best way to celebrate them and not leave them out of this year's celebration than to let them share their story before they won the awards, after they won the awards, the challenges. I mean, pour their heart out. So, unfiltered talk behind the glamour. And so, welcome to the Beauty and the Beats podcast.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Yes. So, we all know that you are the godfather of the industry. You've been in the space for what, 40 years?
That's correct.
You've built MVP. I personally grew up knowing MVP, ahofe, into
Any tray.
any tray year, fantastic.
Okay.
And I know you were also on the board of Ghana Export Promotions Authority. But before your MVP, before your MBA, before Chicago, you talk a lot about Chicago. Before all that, who was young Sandy Osei-Agyeman?
You really want to know about my...
Yes.
Okay. I've been blessed by God, a lot of experience since high school. And if I might take you back from the beginning, I went to school at Osei-Agyeman, and at an early age, I found out I was a great sprinter. So I started competing for Ghana national athletic team at age 18.
Wow.
All right. So from there, because of the speed and all of that stuff, I was able to get a scholarship to go to the US on athletic scholarship. Not only to pursue education, but also to pursue my athletic career. I did pretty well in athletics. I ran 2 Olympic Games for Ghana.
Wow.
I was in the 72 Olympics in Munich when they had that incident with the Israelis and the Palestinians. I ran the 100 meters and the 4x100 for Ghana. I was also in the 1976 Olympics in Montreal twice. But unfortunately, in 76, just 2 days before the game started, all the African countries pulled out because of apartheid in South Africa. I think South Africa had played rugby with New Zealand, and They wanted New Zealand to be poorer, they didn't. So I didn't have a chance to. So that was lesson number one. You can make now to go to the Olympics takes 4 years.
Wow.
So that's 4 years of sacrifice of training, and it came to nothing. But then it became part of your history growing up. In athletics in the US, everything that you can want to accomplish, I did. All-American, you get All-American. I helped my school to win the national championship in Division II. I pursued a degree in finance that time. And when I graduated, it wasn't enough. So I came to Chicago proper to start my career, professional career. When I was younger, I had 3 options. I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a finance major.
Okay.
Well, I ended up getting a degree in finance, all because in the back of my mind, I wanted to be an entrepreneur sometime. So what happened? In Chicago, I worked with 3 banks. But while working, I decided to go to one of the top schools in the U.S., Northwestern University. I enrolled in their graduate school called Kellogg Graduate School of Management. I did get a master's degree in finance and international business. But interesting thing is, all that time at the bank, I met my future business partner at Washington. I remember they have a bank cafeteria. So at lunchtime, when we sit down, he always saw me with a piece of paper. I know my father was a politician, cocoa farmer. So when I was younger, we used to go to holiday Lomvat from high school. We go to the for Gambia number 2 to grow cocoa seeds and all that. So I saw the money-making potential. So
from back then,
back then. So I was telling my partner that I wanted to export cocoa to U.S. even that time while I was working at the bank. So he saw me with that paper. So we formed a bond, and we decided that maybe we can create a business. We didn't know what to do. And this is what I've been telling the young people that I've mentored. Always carry what I call an idea book. Because he could always see me. Even up to now, I carry my idea books.
Always carry an idea book.
Yes, because, the mind thinks about so many things in the course of the day. But if you want to be a businessman, sometimes you might not know what to do. But what you do is that any idea that come up, you put it down. And within the book, we created different categories. We have a section for finance. We have a section for motivation. We have a section for marketing. We have a section for new business ideas. So all these things became important, transformed me to become what I became. With that, after coming up with 20, 30 different ideas, we decided on the hair care. This is back in 1977. Why? Because our research showed that there was a big demand for hair care. It was growing. During our time, there were a few big black companies. Everybody remember Afro Sheen. Everybody remember Soft Sheen came later. Everybody remember Dudley Products, S.B. Fuller. These were the pioneer hair care companies. So after going through all the different business ideas, we chose the hair care. Why?
Why? I was going to ask, why hair care?
Yeah, because we saw the potential in the U.S. and also Africa. So back in 1977, my partner and I formed a company we called AFAM Concept. AFAM. And this is important. AFAM, African American. I was the African.
AFAM.
And he
It's still
yes, we sold the company to someone. So AFAM is still around.
Yeah.
So I was the African, he was the American. So the concept was to bring the best of both Africa and America for the mutual benefit of our people. So we coined that term before African Americans started calling themselves African Americans. So AFAM concept, African American concept. Anyway, the thing that I would say is this. We didn't know what to do. Once we decided on the hair care company, we were going to go about it wrong. So there was a Jewish customer of the bank. By the way, the banking career was very important. It shaped my life because, see, in banking, I worked with 3 banks. The first one was called Harris Trust. The first one was called Continental Bank. The job they gave me right from college was operations analyst. So what I used to do is I used to go around all the different areas of the bank, and then you observe the work that the people were doing, and then you cost it out. You take through the process, the steps, and then you cost it out. So before a bank tell you that send a letter of credit will cost you, say, this much, we had computed the cost through that training. So that became important. Then at Harris Bank, the next bank that I went, it was known for being the best management training for young guys. So I went there and they put me in the credit department, first at the international credit and then later at the domestic credit. It became important because that's where I learned. I was a finance major, but then you have to learn the ratios. So we used to write the analysis. If a company came to the bank to borrow money, you have to justify. Say a company comes, they want to borrow 50 million. This Fortune 500 companies. So they'll give you all the stuff. So you got to go get the annual report, get all the information, and you write your analysis. And within that, you have to do your ratios analysis, your debt to worth ratio, all the current ratio, everything. So that also become important because then it makes you understand the basic of running a business. And the third one was that when I graduated from Northwestern, I worked with a French bank called Credit Lyonnais. They made me their credit manager for the whole bank in Chicago, all this in Chicago. So, of course, I was a big shot. So I understood finance, I understood credit. Funny enough, fast forward to Ghana. The credit system here, I have my misgiving, all right? And so that's for a different matter. So with my partner and I, because we've decided we're going to do the haircare business, smartest thing I did, and you heard me say that before to the young guys that want to get into any industry, we went around to see all the successful Black business people that were in the industry. We want to talk to, you might not know him, George Johnson. He used to make Ebony and Jet magazines. These were the pioneer people in America. Anybody heard about Ebony magazine?
Yes.
Anybody heard about Jet magazine? So we want to talk to them just to get some mentorship. So they were helpful. We want to talk to John Johnson. He was doing Afro-Sheen. Afro-Sheen was the biggest then. We want to talk to S.B. Fuller. S.B. Fuller was a pioneer in the black haircare industry. We want to talk to Dudley. We want to talk to Sofsheen, Mr. Gardner. So all these people, funny enough, when you sit down and talk to them, they will share. They will direct you. They will so it becomes important that the young people doing business, you can't just jump up and go. We've learned, we've made some mistakes, but we also have some wisdom. So if you don't come and ask me, how can I be of help to you? All right. So all this inform our basis for doing the business. So we started the business by coming to Africa. At that time, we went to Liberia, we went to Nigeria just to do our fact finding. And then when we went back to Chicago, we decided to make 3 products. Okay, one of them was moisturizer in the early days. So we had 2 brands. One was called Salam. The Salam, Assalamu alaikum Salam. Salam was for the men. And we created Elente, still around, Elente. Yeah. Elente was for the ladies. But later on, we dropped Salam. We came out with Vital. Vital is still around after 40 years. It's still in the marketplace. Elente is still around. So we formed these products. And of course, we had no money, but we had the idea, we had the commitment. And I'm happy to say that there's a lot of mileage on this body. And I've been to almost about 45 of the states in the U.S., going door to door to the salons to push our products. I traveled to all kinds of places, and then you learn that early on, to do this business, you have to understand marketing. So there were a couple of books, very, very important books. I'll read, what is it called? Marketing, something for the mind. There was a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Yeah. There were Guerrilla Marketing. These were all good books that we had to read. And then you just don't read. You make your notes, you make it applicable.
I have a confession. I have that Guerrilla Marketing.
You should read it.
Thank you. I've had it for like 5 years. I've never opened it.
I must have read it about 4 or 5 times in the early days. These were what made us become more professional. Okay. So Like I said, it was a slow process. We didn't have money, but because of our background, we could always write good proposals. And you go, and then the bank will give you low money. Unlike here, where you could borrow at 2-3%. Here, you borrow at 28%. How are you going to succeed? It's not possible in Ghana. If you're going to use the bank to grow your business, it's almost impossible in our kind of industry. Okay, that's what I come to find out later on. But we were successful. We did something for the black industry, for the beauty industry. In that time, that is still relevant now. We were more interested in innovation, my partner and I, because of our background, I learned chemistry, I understood ingredients. If I found out that this is sodium hydroxide we use in relaxer, what is it? What does it do? So you learn all of this, and you learn formulation, you learn everything, so you become complete. So we were very professional. Even that time, we were doing something nobody was doing. We used to educate the hairdressers. Our attitude was to teach them business principles. Okay. So, for example, we bring the hairdressers, we show them how to increase their revenue in the salon by doing salon retailing, how to understand, how can you maintain your clients? What do you have to do to have client retention?
So this was all in Ghana here?
No, this is America
Still
before
America
Ghana.
before Ghana,
Everything I've done here, I did it there. Okay, we transferred it here. So we found out there were some deficiencies in the black hair care industry. It started with the curl. You guys don't know. When the curl came at first, how, we probably were too young. The jelly, some call it jelly curl here, but it's jerry curl. The problem with the curl was that people want flexibility with styling. And instead of your kinky hair, you curl it and you get a new look.
I remember.
But the challenge was the maintenance product you use. It was greasy, very greasy. You put the moisturizer, you put the activator on, it was dripping all over. So my partner and I decided, okay, what can we do about this? So we came up with a concept called Never Greasy. So we created the first moisturizer and cream activator that was never greasy. And we say, you prevent the ring around the color. You wear something and all that stuff. So that was one of our first innovation. Another innovation we did, these days maybe people might take it for granted because it's happening, but another innovation we did, during that time, blow drying the hair. Black people wanted the kinky hair, to blow dry to make it look straight. But the problem with that time is that the hair became too dry, brittle, and it break.
Yeah.
So we decided to come up with what we call moisture retention approach to hair care. So what it means is that you develop a cream that we call it body bounce. I think the company we saw, our competitors still sell body bounce cream conditioner. You take it in, you put it in. When you blow dry or hot curl, you won't see any breakage. The hair maintains the moisture it needs, and it comes out looking healthy, softer. So that's another technology that we innovated in America. The third thing that we did, another innovation that we came up with, the relaxers, everybody were doing the relaxers, especially here, but they always had problem with burning scalp, breaking hair, because sometimes they didn't understand there's a proper way of doing it. So we came up with what we call inner care technology, because we found out that anytime you put any chemical on the hair, okay, to relax the hair, first you have to break the bonds of the hair. Okay, when you break it down, then when you put it there, it will get straight. But once you break the hair down, you have to go inside the cuticle area to do all the repair. So we came up with inner care technology, because when you break the hair down, you create positive and negative charges in the hair. So we came out with Revive Conditioner, which was positively charged. So once you put in the hair, wherever there's a negative charge, it will deposit a positive charge. So in other words, you neutralize the hair comes out straight. So when you're done, you eliminate all breakage. So that was the inner care technology. We did it. Also, during that time, the most popular thing was sodium hydroxide. But we came up with all the 3 different chemicals you can use to relax hair. There was calcium, the no-lye that we call the no-lye. Right. There was sodium, which is the most popular one. And then we came out with lithium. Lithium was like sodium, but it didn't burn. So we had all this product, tender-headed scalp relaxer, this.
For the different hair textures.
Yeah, for different hair textures. So I'm saying all of this to say that just to go and make a product doesn't get it. What are you about? Even in business, what do you stand for? So over the years, this might have gotten buried, but this is the foundation and we got credited for this innovation in the US. Fast forward coming to Ghana. I sit here and sometimes, you know how we see Mihuyanka. Sometimes I wonder, did I do the right thing, transition here? But because we were quite successful there.
What year did you come to Ghana?
We started selling the products. I used to come and go. But I decided to relocate to Ghana 2001, 2002, after we sold AFAM concept. We sold it to them. And then when I made a lot of money then, but because I was from here, go ahead.
What informed you selling AFAM? I mean, selling a business that you've built or a brand that you've built must have been like giving away your child. Why sell AFAM?
Well, we were partners. We built it to the point where we had it for about 22 years. It had value. I wanted to come to Ghana. My partner didn't want to come. By the way, we employed a lot of people in Chicago, a lot of Africans, a lot of Ghanaians, quite a lot of people. They know themselves. They know. I brought a lot of people from Africa into the business. Okay. So we decided to sell it just to cash out. I could have done something different, but I thought I had an unfinished business. So I decided to transition to Ghana to continue the process. So I came to Ghana and formed Slid Industries. And Slid came up with MVP. But see, it's not only MVP that I did. If you go through my history, I created many, many brands. I had a skincare line called Skin Fine.
Okay.
I had a nail line called Lanier Nails. I had a natural product called Edrincrat Naturals. We also created their natural care. Even with the natural care here in Ghana, maybe these days it's gotten a little bit better. But when we pioneered to do this, we weren't just looking at just the shea butter. We realized that you have the neem tree oil, you have the lemongrass oil, you have the baobab oil, you have all this oil. So how do you incorporate all of this? You have cocoa butter. So how do you incorporate to come up with something better? So all these things we've done. Okay, so somebody might say, so what happened? What happened is Ghana happened.
It was going to be my next question. I mean, obviously, before you started your business, you did a lot of research, extensive research. You picked intelligence, you picked knowledge, and that's how you succeeded to the extent that you were able to sell to make a lot of money. And then you come to Ghana. Why didn't some of the businesses or the lines succeed, like the nail, the skincare? In fact, I'm hearing that for the first time.
Oh,
we know
I did
MVP.
Yes.
It's still doing well. I personally use MVP.
Okay.
I never heard of the skincare. I never heard of the nail.
Okay.
What do you think went wrong?
Because focus is important. It's like to be everywhere is to be nowhere. Okay. I was doing too many things at the same time, and it takes resources because you know all this, you can do that. I did it anyway to get out of my system. If I had kept it, would have been successful, but the resources to do all this weren't there. So you keep on using your own resources to do this, to do that. And when you start something in Ghana, it takes a long while to get it going. And over the years, in the 22 years that I've been here, I have trained about 50,000 hairdressers on understanding hair, proper ways to use hair, proper ways to treat hair and all of that stuff. So maybe some of the mistakes that I think I've done was trying to be everywhere. I was selling in Lagos, I was selling in Nairobi, I went to Ivory Coast, I went to Burkina, I even went to South Africa, and it takes a lot of resources. You can't do all of that. So in retrospect, that's the reason why you couldn't succeed. And I didn't have any partner. Maybe it would have worked if access to capital was easier, like the US than here. Access to capital is not that easy in Ghana. And I must say it again. My experience is that we don't support businesses to grow in Ghana. That's my experience. Because if we support businesses, I should have been like the Revlon of our beauty industry because I started earlier than anybody else. Okay. And it takes a lot of resources. Okay.
If you say we don't succeed businesses to grow, are you talking about the people? Are you talking about government? Are you talking about the system? What are you talking
It's
about?
the government and the financial institutions. Okay.
If you're comparing that to America, you seem to have done a lot in America.
America don't need the government. America, the financial institutions are easier to work with. But here, you have to collateralize everything. The interest rate, 28, 30%. It's impossible to sustain your business. And also here, it's difficult to manufacture because you don't have access to all the raw material that you need. For example, our best-selling product was an MVP Nourishing Living and Styling Lotion. The Living is still the best up to now.
I agree.
It requires about 15, 16 ingredients to make it. So it's difficult to do it here. So what you do, you find a contract manufacturer, you partner with them, and then you're able to mix it, get everything and do it here. So manufacturing becomes difficult because of access to raw materials. It becomes difficult because they don't have any program where deliberately, let me just digress and say, look at Dangote. How is he able to build all that he's built? The biggest sugar factory, the biggest cement, now the biggest oil, because the government support him. Give me an example of Ghana, how many companies that you personally know where they've been supported significantly to grow. Because if you grow at one big company, look at all the employees you can create. So I'm being blunt. So I sit here and I say, well, you've been successful, but you've seen the challenge. So the next you coming up and all these young people coming up, okay? You got to find time and sit down and talk to people like me. Take the lessons we give you seriously and figure out how you're going to do. Because otherwise, at some point in time, you're going to get stuck unless you get some government contract and you have some easy access money that you can use it to support. Otherwise, your own personal income will fund it. It's easy for people to sit back and second guess you, but they should walk in your shoes first before they can understand what happened.
Okay, so you were Ghana Export Promotions. You were the board chair.
Yes.
What were some of the interventions that you're using to support businesses? Because I know...
So Ghana Export Promotion Authority, when I was the chairman, we came out with this National Export Development Strategy. And it kind of hurt because we came out with a 10-year plan where if Ghana had followed the plans in making use of our local products, we could have grown our export to about $27 billion. It's all documented. But what happens? You do this nice work, it took about a year and a half, 2 years, and then it's thrown away. You understand what I'm saying? So another thing that I found out is that we do not have a plan as a country where we follow. It becomes this government started this, they don't finish, the next government come, they put it aside. So for all these years that I've been here, we have national development strategy. But do we have a consistent strategy where we follow? So when this government come, they finish. Yeah. I'm not getting political. I'm talking from business point of view, please. Yeah. I'm not political, I'm business. So we don't follow the plan. Even the flooding, my factory is flooded now, completely flooded. I lost everything. So why does that happen? Because over the years, the sanitation, the this is not done. So sometimes it hurts. That's why I say being young, because sometimes then you sit there and say, well.
Did you have regrets moving to Ghana? Would you have preferred to?
I have an ambivalent feeling about it. It's been good because you made an impact here. Yeah. I've had a lot of employees come through. But it's been difficult because you waste a lot of resources that you could have done something different. And unlike some people, once I do something, I focus on it. But then I was looking at it and I said, well, you're not the only person who has done his best and have challenges. It happens to a lot of people. But for us to succeed as a country, we talk about 1D, 1F came and gone. Now we're talking about 24-hour economy. It's a 24-hour. Are they being resourced? Are they being given the independence? Do they really have the choice to be able to make the things that can make it work? I'm saying it because look at the GEPA. The plan is still there. Where cocoa, you name all the natural ingredients we have. The plan is laid out how to grow it. And then we could have done 27 billion in 10 years systematically. It's not done. So do I have a regret coming out here? Well, hey, I'm alive. I'm here. This home.
You've had a chance to have meetings and interacted with the 24-hour secretariats.
Yes.
I mean, you and I are on committees and we've been through meetings. Do you think that their policies, you've read their book, I believe, do you think is anything to go by? Do you think it's going to support businesses, especially those of us in the beauty and wellness industry?
It will support business if they're given the flexibility, if they're given the resources, and if they don't channel all the resources to the bank where everything has to go through the banks. Ghanaian banks don't like to lend money, grow businesses. Okay, and when you have a low challenge, then the next thing they want your property, they want your collateral. That's what I find. People don't like to tell the truth, but that's what it is. So when the challenge comes, they should nurture you and grow you. But when you have challenges, they're not there to support you. Okay, so if 24-hour economy will be made independent, they'll be given enough resources, then they can make their own decisions. Okay, they have enough great people out there. They can do the analysis, they can do the credit, whatever it is, and then be able to nurture them. But if it becomes like everyday thing, oh, we have some money, you have to take you through the bank and all of that, it's not going to work.
Okay, so every industry has challenges. Our space, we also have challenges. What is that one key challenge the industry has that you think has to be addressed seriously? Like we have to be intentional about addressing it?
Manufacturing. We need to be able to manufacture. We don't manufacture because we don't have access to all the raw materials. So even if you want to manufacture, you still have to import your raw materials. If you want sodium hydroxide to do your relaxer, where is the actual sodium hydroxide that you can buy? Are they in the chemical companies here? You have BASF in the US. You have quite a few. So you can go out there, you can buy multiple different chemicals that you need for our industry. Because we don't have that here. So what do? We import them from Turkey, we import them from China, we import them from wherever, US, wherever it is. And so that's one of the, how do we scale manufacturing? Okay, that's the thing. Also, with the distribution, okay, we don't have the macoles and the salons. It's difficult. The pricing is difficult because if you do quality product, you want to do like we believe in that we've done, it's going to cost you. But once you do the quality product, getting the right margin is difficult. So you're always working at a lower profit margin, which impacts everything that you do. So I think the government or the institution or the environment has to make a conscious effort that let's take 2 or 3 or 5 industries. Let's create giants out of them. Can we create $1 billion company in Ghana that employs, say, 10,000 employees? And what item are you going to do? So even with shea butter, what are we doing with it? Export. But what can we do with shea butter that can really find one big company, process it to create a different sauce, and also market that outside? Everybody is doing a piecemeal. They have their little shea butter. They have a little customer here. They send it. So these are the challenges.
So I see every opportunity in challenges. You've spoken about it. So clearly it's an opportunity for government. You just spoke about the fact that government must pick maybe about 4 or 5 people and make them giants. You sit on various committees in the industry, from the sector scale body and all. As an industry or as a committee, have you thought of petitioning government, petitioning the right agencies?
Again, so we stop looking at things in partisan way and look at it in nationalistic way, it's not going to work. Because when you go out there with some idea, you want to do something, first thing they look at, is this party or is that party? That's not how I think. I'm a Ghanaian. And I've proven it with all the other thing that I've done, running for Ghana at the 18 for national team, bringing my money here to invest. I'm a Ghanaian first. So 100%. petitioning, good luck.
Well, you mean that's a conversation for another day?
Yes. But see, the talk is easy.
The action.
The talk is so easy. And the intention is we want to do this, we want to do that. But the mindset of our people needs to change from every sector, every way that we look at it. We look at the discipline. Are we disciplined? No. Even look at the rains and the harbor. You'll be told this is a waterway, don't build. We will build. Why? Because the MC guy will come and you give something small. It's a serious problem.
No, it is. So do you agree with me when I say that we need an attitudinal change as a country? Like, we need a whole mindset shift. We need to change our attitude, everything.
How do we do that?
Well, I believe that's supposed to be a national dialogue. How do we do that? And it must come from us, the people, not government. How do we do that?
We can start by making people accountable, applying the laws.
I agree.
If somebody does something that's not right, you need punishment, punish them. Yeah. If they need to be fined, fine them. No, everybody is free. We say we live in democracy, so
free to do.
Everybody is free.
Anyway,
so until we say, I agree with you, that attitudinal change comes with practice. When we were young growing up, Kumasi, for example, why do we call it Garden City? The roads were paved with trees. We used to have the tankers, people we call them. Everything was clean up. If you throw garbage, they cut you. There'll be penalty. Yeah. They come to your house and inspect. What happened to all of that?
Yeah. So you've been in the space for 40 years or over. I mean, a lot of people start businesses and after a year, after 5 years, they're irrelevant. You've stayed relevant.
Yes.
You can't talk about the industry and not mention Sandy or mention MVP. They can't form committees and not involve you. Like, you've stayed relevant. How have you done that?
You have to have passion about what you choose to do. You have to keep learning. You have to build relationships. You have to engage. You have to know that what you've learned, the wisdom that you acquired, is needed for the newer ones coming, the new generation. So when you know all of this, your success, your failures, is all part of the lessons that you can impart. So I keep hope alive. I keep thinking that I see some young guys doing things, but what I'm afraid is that unless something changes, they're gonna get to a point where they can be the giant that we're talking about, because the environment doesn't support that.
What has success cost you? Your sleep, peace of mind, relationship? What has success cost you? Family?
It's interesting I'm sitting out here talking to you because I have a major challenge with my flooded factory. So now they're thinking, how do you bring, but I keep saying, well, listen, you've done your bit, find a way to resolve the issue, and nobody's gonna come save you, So you have to find a way to save yourself, and like Shifty said, be happy. Really make a conscious effort to be happy, and don't have expectation from anybody. Okay, because expectations hurt. You see what I'm saying? So once you have the mindset that, hey, you're doing the best that you can, and you don't let other people's opinion bother you. You hear, all of us are here for a certain period. Good names better than riches. If you done like what you said, I've done my bit. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now, if you at least come to our industry, my name will pop up somewhere.
Obviously.
So that means you've done your bit.
So you've watched this industry evolve for decades now. What excites you most about the Ghanaian entrepreneurs coming up?
there's a great potential. And I say that I don't see the ones in the industry, I don't see them, I don't hear about the innovations that they're actually doing. I mentioned some of the innovations that we did in the US and here that are still, that form the basic of where the hair business is now. So the young ones, they should think about innovation. If you're going to do shea butter,
Everybody's doing shea butter.
what can you do that really, instead of saying there's a shea butter, you can use it for your skin. What really can you do? Innovation becomes very, very important. So if you don't innovate, you die. Okay, so innovation is very, very important for the young ones coming up. And you look at the challenges. There are challenges in the haircare business here. So if you want to get into it, identify 1 or 2 or 3 industry-wide challenge that you think you can solve. And try to find some solutions to solve it. And then you go and tell your story. This is my solution to solve this problem.
Okay, from everything that you've learned in America, in Ghana, from the research and all that, do you think or do you believe that we can build Africa businesses that can compete with the likes of L'Oreal, the Estée Lauders?
Do
you confidently think?
We can.
We can.
At least I was a point. I was a point where L'Oreal, when they were here, they approached me. They had maybe that time I was so stubborn. I could have quote unquote sell to them or whatever. I had offers to have sell MVP, stubbornness because I didn't do that. In retrospect, you believe in what you're doing. So yes, we can. That's what I'm talking about. If you see somebody doing something, they have the experience. You can cultivate them, support them. At the end of the day, we use our monies to do things that don't matter. It goes into some few people's pocket. And what do? They don't employ. They don't create anything. They're just rich. To benefit who? Them and their family. But why can't you do something to benefit the whole country? So, yes, we can create some that can grow to compete in area. See, you take the baobab oil, you take the neem tree oil, you take some of these oils, even the ones processing it, they can produce large scale enough. But these are ingredients, have medicinal, have all this benefit. If we were to find one big company where, okay, look, we're going to set you up to do all these things in a big scale. Not only can we use local, but we can export it. Everybody is in their little shell doing something small. So if you ask me, innovation, scaling, getting if I'm making shea butter, what does shea butter really do? How can I innovate shea butter other than everybody go get shea butter, put in a jar, African shea butter and all of that stuff, and put some low essential oil and that's it? Is that all that shea butter can do? What is the research that goes into it? What is Standard Authority doing? What kind of information? What are the universities doing? Maybe the universities have some information, the biochemistry schools, maybe they have something. But how come we're not being told about this thing so we can also use that as a basis for innovate? So unless we do all of these things stuff, then we're always going to be importing, okay? And then from what you said, we won't get anywhere.
Okay, so 30 years from now, when someone picks an MVP product, how do you hope, or how do you want them to remember the man who built it? When they pick it, what should they say?
A committed guy who does his bit, brought his money to Ghana to create employment, to teach the hairdressers the proper way of doing hair, doing the industry, at least help make the industry relevant. Okay, so hopefully the relationships you build from Makola to the salons to the shops, so hopefully they remember that you did your bit. How to say, nipa babe, and so whatever it is, we're thankful to God for the opportunity to have served, not only in America, but to have the common sense to come back home and see if you can duplicate what you did there. And I've done that. Okay.
So before you go, what 5 advice would you give? In fact, if you can make it 10, because we are celebrating 10 years.
Okay.
What 10 advice would you give to entrepreneurs out there?
Okay. Quite a few. Of course, I'm a spiritual, prayerful person. So you start your day with your prayers. You know why? Because you focus your day, and then it gives you a chance to realize what's important. That you realize that spiritually, you're not alone. There's always somebody out there to support you. So when the challenges come, you can reach out. Number 2, discipline. Are you disciplined enough that you wake up some days, you don't feel like going to work, but you go anyway? It took a lot of discipline for me to be a good athlete. I got to go to practice twice a day, morning and evening. Like I said, I sacrificed 4 years to go to the Olympics, but when we get there, we didn't run. So that's all the 4 years wasted. So it took a lot of discipline to do that. You have to be, your word must be good. Integrity is very, very, very important. When people see you, they should smile. They should have something nice to say, like you always do me. If I was a bad character, I say, when my name is mentioned, I can't always say. You know, so integrity, good character. If you want to have a long term in the industry, your word must be good. Okay, your discipline must be there. Time, keeping appointment. Keeping appointment is important. One thing that I've done that I have challenges with that I wish I hadn't was that when you borrow money, pay. Okay. Sometimes it's very difficult. I defaulted in some of that, but it was never the intention because I wouldn't have survived all these years because my word is good. But sometimes the challenges overcome the situation. So, but you still remember that when you borrow, do your best to pay. If you can pay, communicate. Okay. You should be focused with your life. You know, you don't need accolades from the whole world. You should be self-content. You should be happy with yourself, really happy with yourself and what you're trying to do. Keep a stable family life whenever you can. Friends, small is better. Okay, too many big friends. Everybody have their opinion. And the thing is, if you want to do something and you wouldn't know who to go and discuss it with, and that's the problem. And what I found out in Ghana is that true friendship is kind of difficult because the competition, necessary competition, do they want you to succeed? Maybe, yeah, for what you can do for them. You should continue to study, continue to learn, seek mentorship. Okay. Read, continue to learn, read. Reading is important in your industry. You know, things have changed. For example, AI is here. So we old school, but I've been using AI some. So that's
good to know.
Oh yeah. So what do I do with AI? Whatever I want to do, I write it myself full scale. And then I'll ask AI, this is what I've done. Can you add something to it? And that thing for me is better than me to go and ask AI, what's this? I do it myself first.
What AI tool are you using?
I use chatbots.
Okay.
There are quite a few out there. You can ask, even, Elon Musk has his AI there. But I use chatbots. So I'm saying be up with technology as much as you can.
Yeah.
What else can I add? Money is important, but money is always a tool. Okay? Humility is important. Be humble. Ahombrasier, be humble. Because if you don't have ahombrasier, you won't have friends. And then negative energies, you do your best to let it out of your life, like envy, like jealousy, like comparing yourself with others, like worry. You will worry in business, like distress, but you have to make a conscious effort to control that. So these are some of the things.
So this year you are turning 77 years.
Yeah.
You're so blessed.
Mm-hmm.
What's your secret? You look so fit. What's your secret?
I told you some of them. But another thing is taking care of your body through exercise. There's so many ways that you can exercise. Walking, again, it comes with discipline. If you don't, sometimes you're in a rush, don't have the time, and then you postpone things. But the first thing you do between your prayers and your exercise, if you can't walk, do some stretching. But it has to be consistent.
So you walk every day?
These days, I've been doing it for so many years. These days, I go about 3 times a week. But I do there's some simple stretching exercise that you can do. If you go on the internet, sometimes you see the Tai Chi stuff, all these things. But you have to exercise. And then you have to talk to your mind, though. Your mind you have to clean and clear your mind every day, all these negative vibes that come. You have to tell your mind you're above that, and then you exercise, and then you watch what you eat.
Yeah,
I still eat KFC sometimes. But
you have cheat days.
Yeah, but you have to watch what you eat.
Yeah,
And enjoy life.
Yeah. Do you do any sports? I mean,
July 19th, June 26th.
Do you do any sports?
Not
Tennis,
really,
golf.
just
Just the exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
And eating well. Yeah, you hosted us at home some time back, so I know you eat well.
You get older, you find out that one of the best things you can do is to learn, I call it strategic silence. Sometimes when you're by yourself, you think you need crowd, but I spend a lot of quiet time. A lot of quiet time is very, very important because, I could be home by myself, don't miss anything. But in my younger days, you think you're missing the whole world. But as you get older, you realize that the quiet time also is the best time to recharge your mind. You tell the Holy Spirit to renew your spirit. You do those kind of things. So the quiet time is important. Oh, another thing that's important is people are afraid of silence. People are afraid of silence. Silence is one of your best friend. When you're silent, you're able to think things through, and you come up.
Voice.
Yes, and then another way of putting it, discernment. When you practice discernment, quote unquote, you're talking with your God. It helps you make the right choices. So there's so many things that you can do. But exercise is important. Even if it means doing some jumping, 20, 30 minutes. That's all.
All right, thank you. Before you go, let me use this platform to also say thank you so much for your support. Since we started the Ghana Beauty Awards, the then Ghana Makeup Awards, you've been very consistent with us. We call you and you are there. You attend every edition.
I told you from the beginning. So
far as you're in town,
yes,
you've been supportive. Every event, you are there. So let me say thank you.
Okay,
we really, really appreciate it. We are grateful to God for your life.
Pleasure.
And for your support over the years.
Okay.
And on the 6th of November, we definitely will hope to see you there once we celebrate 10 years of championing excellence in the industry.
Okay.